Hello everybody, this is Curtis with Off the Bench Global. I decided today to come and talk to you today. A lot of things that are happening in our world today. We have the COVID-19, the coronavirus. I know a lot of people are tired of hearing that name, but it's something that is happening right now. I know you guys remember the conversation that we've had prior to this video. We talked about how, in December, we talked about the 2020, the year of vision, everybody excited. We talked about the actual New Year's resolutions, how people will have the New Year's resolutions. And my comment was that sometimes the gym be in better position than the people are. And I'm going to elaborate on those information that I gave before. But at this time, I want you to really take your time to hit subscribe if you like. And if you like this video, at the end of the video, please press like at the end of the video. I'm not trying to pressure anyone to hit subscribe or like the video, but definitely share if this is something that you guys decide to do. But again, this is some information that I'm getting ready to give today. I thought it was detrimental for me to drop this information on you guys and for you guys. Again, we have some things that's happening right now that's shaking up the world, shaking up lives, and it's definitely impact families. But for the sake of the nature of the mental health, I really want to communicate with you guys about some things. And I'm titling this message, I Come to Testify. There's some things that you guys don't know about me, and there's few that really know these things about me and in my life. Some things that impact my life. I really want to communicate with you guys about this testimony. We overcome by others' testimonies, but you testify of that is true. You guys may not know me, but what I'm saying to you, you can check, and the way that you check is to live your life, and you're going to run right into the information that I'm telling you today. Coming up, when I say coming up, you can't pinpoint the age, but some things are my immaturity, some things are my maturity, but I live life and try to learn, and as I learn, I share. When I was coming up, I remember us having we was able to purchase a pool in my house, in my home, and we had this circular pool, and we had friends and family to come to our house, and we would actually stand on the edge of the pool, and we'll walk in a circle. At a good pace. We'll walk in a circle, creating a whirlpool. So when we create that whirlpool, the whirlpool, as we continue to move, it got stronger and stronger and stronger. To be able to stop that whirlpool, you had to stand still to be able to stop the current, stop the flow and go in one direction. If you stand still, you'll slow down the thing that is actually moving you. So if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I come to testify. I remember back in the day when you're taking a picture, and everybody posing for the picture. They're in the picture, they're laughing, they're joking, or what have you, and someone brings that picture to your attention later on, and say, you remember this picture? And people would be like, oh my God, get that picture away from me. You know, I can't believe I took that picture. But when you were in the picture, you was posing and you was enjoying yourself. Now that you're out the picture, you can see the whole picture. There's a place that you feel of discomfort because you're not in that place no more. Now you can see the whole picture. I come to testify. So we then have, when we were in school, do you remember the line of people that you have, and someone would tell someone some information and we'll pass information down, whispering it to each person's ear, and by the time it get to the end, the information changed. From the time it started, from the time it ended, the information changed because it's of a rumor. Now, the fact is there was something told, but when it passed through people, some people will change the message. I come to testify. You guys really pay attention to what is being said because we're going somewhere, in this information. Over time, you would look back on some things in your life, and you'll try to figure out what is going on, such as you have hurricanes, you have different storms, and a lot of people don't know that storms are named after the alphabet. It goes from A to Z as far as the names that they named the storm. And so when they named the storm, some people try to figure out, say, how did you know that it was this amount of storms? Because I know because of the letter of the alphabet that the storm is named after. So what some people don't understand is right now we are in a storm. This coronavirus is a storm. This coronavirus, it like a storm, people would try to tell you that it's this ethnicity, it's this race that it's attacking or what have you. But when a storm comes, it don't care about your race. It don't care about your ethnicity. It don't care. It's just going to come through. But with competition in your ear, you'll try to factor in it's after you and not me. That's how you separate. I come to testify. We have children that are asking questions at this time, and we're seeing that people are telling the kids, I don't know what's happening, just cover your face, and we are walking around like Corona Power Rangers. We're dressing ourselves up and covering ourselves up, looking like Corona Power Rangers, and not understanding what is happening, what is going on, what are we protecting ourselves from? What is it that you are protecting yourself from, and when do it end? Don't we supposed to be speaking to a storm? I come to testify. I'm taking my time with this message because it's food for thought. I really want you to pay attention to what's being said. You take a computer, and when you take the computer and you try to put something in the system may reject what you're trying to put in it because it detects a virus. It's not going to let you download certain things in the system because the system detects a virus, so it's going to kick it out. Such as when I was talking about a diet, when do a diet become a lifestyle? A diet becomes a lifestyle once you understand what you're putting into your system. And once you understand what you're putting in your system, your body will reject that. This is not good for it. Practice made perfect. Again, I'm taking my time. It's not that I don't know the direction I'm going with this message. I'm just taking my time to give you information that is potent. You have people that are confused about or looking for a message, and we need something to understand what is happening right now. These are the questions that are being asked right now. What is happening? What is going on? What do I need to do? I'm scared. And it's like giving a baby a piece of steak. The baby's not ready for this steak, but we try to force feed. Really think about the information that I'm sharing today. We had a passage in the Bible where the people, the disciples, was standing around and trying to figure out who was going to be the best, or who's going to be the greatest, who's going to be the new person in charge, because our chosen one had passed away. What are we going to do now? How are we going to move? How are we going to maneuver? We need power, but I was here first, so I'm going to be the one to actually, pass this along because of my status and because of who I am and how long I've been here. I have a brother, and my brother, he's older than me, similar in stature, different when it comes to the style of game that we have when it comes to basketball. We were both basketball players and pretty good at it. So my brother, when we got to high school, my brother played at a different school than I played in. We played against each other, maybe a couple times, and I remember newspaper articles coming out saying brother against brother. That was the news. That was to bring people into the gym to see these brothers battle each other. As time progressed, we actually, his senior year, he came down and he played with me his senior year, and I appreciate that, about him, the character that he came down, regardless of how people would try to combat with put us against each other. He came down to play with his brother. He loved his brother, and I love him. So we sat and we played together, and we made it to the third round of the state championship. We was conference champions, and that was an exciting time for me. And I remember the yearbook coming to me and asking me the question of who's, what is the highlight of the season, and I told them about a particular play that my brother actually went down the lane, and he dunked so hard on this 7-foot guy, and when he dunked on him hard, the guy's shoe came off, and it was an and one, it was a foul, and right after the play, his coach called timeout and pulled him out of the game. I remember that. He dunked on him so hard, and that's what I told the yearbook. See, the yearbook thought that I was going to say something about myself, me being a McDonald's All-American. They thought I was going to say something about myself, but I love my brother, and I love the fact that he came down to share the team with us, It was not a leader on our team. We were all one. We tried to make it to the championship, and he came and helped out with that. And I love you for that. I come to testify. What's happening right now, you have people that are trying to compete for the best. You have people that say, hey, you're gonna have a car, you're gonna have a house here in the next couple of months. You're gonna have this. Quit your job and you're gonna have this. But the thing about it is, you have leaders that's really competing with each other, talking about each other. If you're telling the truth, let the word be the truth. You don't have to prove to anybody that you're telling the truth. The truth is going to happen. You're going to run right into the truth. I come to testify. Stop saying it's yet 4 months and the harvest is now. Why are you trying to compete with someone about something that you should just be a pointer? Point someone in the right direction. Let them move. You have kids right now that are confused, that are competing with their parent because they run into a hardship and they're scared to come back to their parent and talk to their parent because they feel like their parent is going to hold something over their head. Where is the love? There's things that we go through as an adult that got us to the place that we are now because we learn. But because we are here now in a place that we feel like we feel better about our life, don't mean that we can actually criticize those children. Let them learn. Be the pointer for those kids. Show them the direction. Let them know what's going on. But at this time, we're placing judgment on the kids. When I was coming up, I remember going to visit my friend's house, and we would want to go outside and play. But before we go outside and play, they had to do chores, and I would help them with their chores, and it was easy for me, but it was hard for them. And I would help them, and we'll knock it out. We'll knock out the chores. We'll clean up, and then we'll go outside and play. So it's so easy for you to clean up someone else's house, but your house in a disarray. You have so much mess in your house, so much clutter in your house, but you are easily to involve yourself in someone else's house and clean their house, judge them. And it's so easy to, for another example, when it's cold outside, and say that you see a car that gets stuck in the snow. When the car gets stuck in the snow, everybody come outside and tell them, say, you should have turned this way, you should have turned this way, you should have turned that way. People have advice once you get stuck. So again, you have yourself going into someone else's house and helping them clean. It's easy for you to help them clean because it's not your house. We're in a place of isolation right now. The place that we are in of isolation, it's time to understand what's happening inside your house. If you understand what's happening inside your house, you can clean it. But instead, you will feel tired, you'll feel sluggish, you will feel anything that will distract you from cleaning your own house. It's easy for you to attach yourself to someone else's house. But when you actually look at it, why is that? Why is it so hard for you to take the time to clean your own house, and it's easy for you to go and help or judge someone else's house. How is that? Why is that? You know? It says, how is it that you love me who you haven't seen, but hate your brother who you do see? The competition. At this time, we have, say you have a scripture, a Bible verse. You remember the Mary and Martha story. Mary and Martha, you know, Jesus Christ was sitting, and Mary was sitting by Jesus' feet, listening to him, getting wisdom. Martha was busy cleaning up, just moving. And she asked the question, how is it that Mary is sitting by you and I'm the one cleaning up? Christ told her, she's doing what's wise. Pretty much what he's saying is that, Martha, you're putting on for me. I've seen your house. I've seen what's inside your house. I've seen what you've been doing. You're trying to put on and entertain me for a moment. It's not that Mary don't know the routine of cleaning up, because if she didn't know the routine, you wouldn't be upset that she's sitting down, because you knew she know how to help you clean up. But she's doing what's wise. She's tired of cleaning, right, in vain. She want to know what is happening with me. I want to know what's happening in my house, because if I understand what's happening in my house, I don't have to worry about putting on. I come to testify. I remember having a feeling of, before I'm ready to be in a loving relationship, I'm ready to love on someone and them love on me back. I remember feeling that way. And I remember having a dream one night, and I couldn't sleep. You know, I kept getting up. And every time I lay down to sleep, I would dream about something that's inside my house, in my apartment. And I would grab something that was inside my apartment. I kid you not, all night I was taking things from my room and taking it to the dumpster all night long. I didn't fall asleep until maybe 4 o'clock in the morning with a blanket on the floor. And that was the only thing in my room. What was being said to me? How is it that you're wanting to be in a relationship and you're going to call this your own, but at the same time, you want this person to wrap into your past? You've had old relationships in this bed. You've had old relationships attached to everything that's in your room. But you want me to give you something new. How is it that you want me to give you something new, but you're still attached to your past? You want them to rest in your past. You want them to lay in your bed and wrap up and just be comfortable living in your past. Just like I'm giving you something new, they're special to me as well. I come to testify. When do we, at this time, stop hitting the snooze button and wake up when the alarm go off? It's time to get up. I remember that when we actually moving in a direction, we have to understand sometimes we hit a roadblock. And when we hit the roadblock, there's a detour sign that takes us around the thing that's holding us back. And when you go around, it may seem like it's longer, but when you end up in front of the thing that's holding you back, it's a difference. You have different relationships that you probably advise other people that are in abusive relationships. They're in, a female being abused, a male being abused, and then once they get out of that relationship, they don't clean themselves. They don't understand what is happening with them, what caused them to get beat on. Do you know that there's predators out here that's seeking for that insecurity in a person? If you don't clean yourself, you'll continue to attract the same symptoms. How is it that you just left an abusive relationship and you right back in another abusive relationship? You right back in an abusive relationship because you didn't learn about this one. You didn't clean yourself. No, I'm not being condescending. I'm not talking down. I'm not talking negative. I'm just being honest. I come to testify. Where are we at right now? Where we at right now is we have different seasons. But God said one thing that will always remain is seed time and harvest. As long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest. So if there's going to be seed time and harvest, and we were excited about 2020, this year being the year of vision, we're going to have so much. We're going to have abundance. We're going to have these things. We're going to have great things happen with us and to us, or what have you. And then we have this storm to come through, and we feel like this storm is shaking up everything, and we're not going to have it, and we don't know when. So the pruning process, things being cut back so things can grow stronger. So what is happening? Do you think that God changed his mind? Do you not think that or know that God is actually in a position where he's trying to get you to understand with the seed time and harvest, there's a time that the trees do not blossom the way that they need to during the winter season because the roots are under it growing strong because there's less activity. It's no movement. Everything is still. Because everything is still, the roots can grow stronger. We don't have activity on our trees, people playing and pulling or what have you. We have now the roots growing strong. The roots are growing strong because everybody is still. There's no movement. But when the season comes and everything blossoms and everything is moving, everything is beautiful, it's able to be beautiful because the roots are strong. You're grounded. But the question is, what are you grounded in? Who do you say I am? Well, some say that you're Yeshua. Some say that you're the Most High. Some say that he asking you, who do you say I am? I come to testify. You testify of that you know. Don't erase it. Testify of what is that is good. Don't erase it. At this time of isolation, have that conversation with your Father. Ask him about the way that you've been practicing your life. Have I been practicing my life based on the fear, based on abuse? Because I was hurt, am I actually moving in my hurt or am I moving in joy? You have to ask yourself that question. I come to testify. There is a time that's coming here soon that things are going to be moving at a great pace. No, it's not yet the end time. You'll hear people say rumors and they talking and say, well, the end is here. The end is near. No. Because you see a pruning back or a cut back, it's only to grow stronger. You have to learn who you are at this time. Mary did what was wise because she took the time to understand what was happening inside of her. What's going on inside of you? Take the time now to get into your prayer closet. Understand individually what's happening with you. See, you have a lot of times people say, I have my better half. There's no way that me, Curtis, is going to be with a half of a person. No, I'm going to be with a whole person. That person that understand who they are, because what happens is we try to figure out who this person is, and I see how I'm going to contribute to this person, because this person might not be good at the finances. This person might not be good at building. This person might not be good at different labor work. No, we're going to sharpen. Iron sharpens iron. I'm not going to come in and try to compensate for what you're lacking. No. You're going to understand your stability. You're going to understand your foundation. As we come in, we're getting a double portion, because I know that you know, and we're going to move forward. And great things. There's great things we shall do. You shall do greater things than me. I come to testify. So at this time of isolation, I challenge you to sit down and talk to God. And the thing about it is, you have so much hurt that's been happening to so many people that they're scared to ask, what is going on with me? Who am I? How can I produce? I guarantee you, you do a capability statement of yourself, what you're capable of. Sit down with yourself and ask God to show you what's going on with you, your capabilities. How is it that God enables you to be able and you feel that you're incapable? I come to testify. This is the time. It's so easy to spread news about what's happening on the computer, on the TV, says such and such passed away. This person did this. This person did that. See, some of the things that you don't know about me. On March the 31st, I had a birthday. My daughter Rachel was born on my birthday. Years ago. Rachel was born on my birthday, and I remember getting a phone call. I remember getting a phone call from her mother. Said, Curtis, come home, rush home. And I got there, and the medics were there. They was giving my daughter compressions. They rushed my daughter to the hospital, and they made it my decision for them to stop compressions. I love my daughter. I'm sitting here looking at my daughter, the person that I love, the person I care about, my heart, on a gurney, fighting for her life. It was hard for me. I was mad. She passed away. I was upset. I didn't understand. I remember at that moment, that's when I started to cry. I said, God, you said you would take no good thing from me. I was so mad. I was so upset. I remember the next morning when I calmed down, like I'm talking to you. God said to me, because I took her, she's with me. You have a passage in the Bible where the people are trying to figure out why is these things happening to this person? Why is this happening? So it had to be his parents or someone in his family have sinned. And God said, no one have sinned. This was for my glory. I come to testify. That was a hit for me. I love Rachel. Rachel was so beautiful. That was my daughter. Do I miss her? Every day. Do I take counseling for it? Yes, I do. I want to be able to love and not hate. At this time, we need to take self-therapy. Understand who you are, why you're moving, what God called you to, how did He call you. Find out your why. One of my last stories I'm telling you. Well, I have two. I remember my dad coming to me and he's talking to me about, he said, son, I haven't seen you bring anyone around. Are you okay? I said, I'm fine. You know, he said, you want to talk about something? And he was really concerned. I told my dad, I said, Dad, give me 2 days. So on the second day, I remember I was at the airport and I had my Fitbit, my watch on, and I said, well, since I don't have any flights, my flights are delayed, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to walk. So I went and I started walking, and I ran into this woman. She's an older woman. She saw me. She said, Curtis, I haven't seen you in so long. How are you? Everything inside of me, guys, I lied. I said, I'm doing fine. And there was this guy that was standing outside of the jet bridge. And he was standing outside the jet bridge as people was deplaning. People was coming off the plane. And I think he was waiting on his family. His family was taking too long, so he started walking towards the jet bridge. And she said, no, you can't go, on the jet bridge. And she looked at me and she said, She said, Curtis, I got something to tell you. What she told me was, she said, when you get a boarding pass, it's for your origin to destination, from where you start to where you're going. She said, God want me to tell you, Curtis, that He got somewhere that you have to go. You can't re-enter that old relationship. If you re-enter that relationship, you're breaching security. You have no past to go backwards. You have to move forward. I come to testify. So the very thing that have me in a rut, or have me frustrated, have me aggravated, I can't go back and try to change the dynamic of that relationship to appease myself, to make myself feel better, to make myself understand that this is a new relationship. This is something that I can go with. I can move with this. I'm used to it. It's comfortable for me. Being comfortable with something is going to keep you in the same place. But if you move at what God is telling you to do, that's greater. How do you go from glory to glory if you actually going backwards into the things that's holding you bondage? I come to testify. I remember my last story. I remember a mother of mine that's working, she was working at the airport. And I remember her coming downstairs into the warehouse and she was crying. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she told me, she said she heard other management, talking about her. And it upset her as far as the work that she put in, the type of person she is, the caliber of woman she is. It upset me. I said, listen, I said, God can do anything. He can move that person and put you in a place. And I was just trying to encourage her. And I'm trying to encourage her because I'm seeing my mom. I'm looking at my mom, who's my mother at work, and I'm seeing her in tears. I was like, man, oh my gosh. So it was later on that day, that night, on my way home, it hit me. Why was that encouragement? Why was that encouragement? I said, well, God, this is what you can do for her. I know that you could do this. Again, why is that encouragement? Why do we look at God so small that we feel like God has to move someone and put someone in a spot? Why don't you look at me as mighty as I am to change the person where they sit? Why do you only look at me as a person that has to move someone to get results? Because if he moves that person to get results, that person is going to stay in that same abusive mind state, and they are moving on in negativity. Why don't you care about that person that I move so much that you care about their well-being as well as the person that you want me to put in a place? I come to testify. We supposed to be praying for those in high places. The storm is a spiritual attack. But what we have to realize is, in our own relationships, we will hold somebody spiritually hostage because what we feel like we have on that person. You owe me. You'll hold that person in spiritual hostage where the person feel like I need to go, I need to do better, but at the same time they feel guilty because they feel like they're hurting someone. No, you're being hurt because you're supposed to continue to move on in your life. But because you're not moving on, you're feeling stagnant and the person have you under spiritual arrest. I come to testify. You testify of what you know. Again, the challenge is take this time to understand who you are on the inside. I know you're tired of walking around looking like a Corona Power Ranger. Take this time to understand what is going on with you, what is going on inside of you. How is it that you're going to be able to show the love or prove the love? You don't have to prove anything to no one. All you have to do is continue to walk and people will see evidence of who you are. How is it that you're going from glory to glory? People are going to be curious and then you testify of what you know. I did my capability statement. I know what I'm capable of. I know who I'm capable to. Again, guys, I love you. This too shall pass. The roots are growing strong. Get ready for your season.